SMEs are the backbone of the Philippine economy. Union Bank has laid down the groundwork for creating an ecosystem helping businesses through an integrated user experience connecting key stakeholders in the ecosystem. SMEs can now have immediate access to financial service providers, points of sale or POS, accounting, inventory, human resources, tax and payroll services, supply chain management, and providing business communities and engagement in B2B and B2C marketplaces. In building that ecosystem, Union Bank Global Linker was born. It's an online platform with social networking capabilities that help SMEs manage and grow their businesses. On their first year of launch, they already have 33,000 SMEs signed up in the platform. Their promise: to become a one-stop hub for business owners. 4 pillars. Network with potential partners and suppliers from a global network of SMEs. Engage with thought leaders and create your own topics for discussion. Avail exclusive deals and offers from business solutions that will help aid an SME's business. Create a DIY e-commerce shop, linker.store.
I think one major role that Global Linker plays is its ability to create a digital platform that for business growth. It's a huge help because it provides for an avenue where businesses can interact, learn, and at the same time expand their networks.
But as a social media platform, Global Linker helps build the community of SMEs and link them to the right markets, suppliers, financiers, and advisors.
I've actually established a contact in Philippines who is interested in my product, and we are working on ways how we can do that. So hopefully, it materializes.
The future of the SME sector in the Philippines is endless. With fintech, business growth can accelerate by breaking down barriers, setting up important connections, and moving daily activities. Success is definite. It's just waiting to happen. The growth of SME filters to all levels of the Philippine society. This sector employs more than 60% of Filipinos. So many lives will be transformed with the success of SMEs. Union Bank Global Linker will be there to make it happen.
Hi everyone! I'm on mute. Look at that. Bakit kaya maraming taong nakamute in their lives? Bakit kaya ang daming taong nasaktan? They are currently challenged. They lost a lot of things. And yet, these people are the same people that we look up to. Hi, my name is Jordan Patente, and thank you for joining me tonight. Yes, I'm very excited and very grateful for Bounce Back Network for organizing these activities. I think this is the third practical coaching session that we're having in Bounce Back Network. Yes, you've heard it right. I'd like to talk to you about how to bounce back with a strong mindset. Just like the example that I just said, bakit nga kaya after a few challenges, after a few trials, some people even lost family members, lost children, lost everything. And yet, they're still up there, inspiring and motivating a lot of us to do better. The good news is, with bouncing back with a strong mindset, we could achieve them. And that's my goal for tonight, to be with you and ensure that you learn something so that you could prepare for us to be better, for us to welcome 2021. Yes, it's February, yet for some people, it could still be a start of their year. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll ask our team to show my slides because I'd love to talk to you about it. I hope you're all doing well. I know it's 7 p.m. I hope you've already had lunch. What's important really is for us to start this month right. 1st of February, kaya nga I chose this schedule. Kasi it's the start of the month, it's a start of a new month, and this could be for Chinese, right? Chinese New Year is about to happen this month. So it could be a new year for all of us, right? So bounce back with a strong mindset. My name is Jordan Patente, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Clean Zone PH. What do we do? Well, we are into professional cleaning of offices. So that's business to business. We are fond of cleaning carpets, offices like post-constructions, even office chairs, upholstery, mattresses. Those are our favorites. And we are the only one currently in the Philippines who's offering one application of disinfectant, and it's going to last for 90 days. So that's a smart technology. It's MAP 1 Pro. So enough about myself and my company. I am here to talk to you about how to bounce back strong, of course, with a strong mindset this 2021. Let's go to our first slide. How can we bounce back strong? First one, please listen carefully. I love to take down notes. So please, if you can, if you have the opportunity to do that, please do so. First one, you have to be aware. Earlier in example ko when I opened the show, I said, for some people, they lost something, right? And I'm sure this 2021, you could look back a couple of weeks and months ago, you might have lost something in your life. You might have lost your career, your job. Hopefully not, but it's a probability, or it's possible that some of you who's listening or watching right now lost a family member or a loved one, right? So you might have lost something in the process. That's why the first step on bouncing back really is for you to be aware. Ibig sabihin, there's a question on the slide. It says there, what is happening to me? Just before you could bounce back, you have to be aware of your current situation. Is there really a problem? Have I lost my job? That could be a problem, right? Sometimes, well, you know what? This morning, I've had a couple of meetings and a lot of restaurants are really closing down. That means a lot of business owners, even employees, would have to take the hit. So that's a problem. What is really happening? Well, there's a pandemic. You have to be aware of the situation. And I'm sure by now we're all aware. But when we say you have to be aware, you need to be genuine in terms of assessing what your situation is para mag-start yung process of bouncing back. Again, this particular step is very important. All the steps that I'm going to discuss, they're important, but the first one really is the most important, because this is the time when you have to sit back and ask yourself, what is happening to me? Hindi po porket pandemic ay your excuse, or it's the first time that there's pandemic and you've been affected and you're isolating yourself. Hindi ganun yung process natin. Or yes, there's pandemic and the whole world is affected. But even if the whole world is affected, even if a lot of people are experiencing the same thing, you're still a unique individual. Kaya yung awareness is just so important in the process of bouncing back. I hope you're learning in the process. So again, have a self-awareness. What is happening to me? Anong sitwasyon na meron ako ngayon? Meron mga bang problema? Kasi kung wala tayong problema, then perhaps there's no point in bouncing back, because you bounce back from a problem, from a certain dilemma that is uncertain and something that you really don't like. That's why you need to be aware of your situation. Let's go to our next step. So after you ask yourself, what is happening to me? What problem do I have as of this moment? February 1, ano nga bang problema ko? So that's the next question. Diba? Next step after awareness is this. Let's take a look at the next slide. There you are. You really have to recognize what the problems are, what your current situation is. Ngayon, madali talaga. It's an easy target for us to identify. There's pandemic, that's a problem, right? But I also could tell you that pandemic really isn't the only problem. It's also how we deal with this pandemic. I know of a few people, before the lockdown, ganun na sila. They're happy with what they do, they're well off, or kaya they're on a bad situation, they don't like what they're doing at work, or they're in a business that they don't really like. So that's the situation that they are at. But for some people, before the pandemic, that's the situation. And during the pandemic, of course, there's a lot of fears, a lot of tears and fears at the same time, because life is just uncertain. Kahit papano, until now, some people would say life is still uncertain, right? And then after 2020, ganun pa rin tayo, or those people that we know could still be the same person, meaning they're still afraid, they still don't know what to do. The problem with that is, since you're not aware or you're denying the situation to yourself, you don't recognize what really the problems are. You don't ask yourself, is this where am I now? Is this my current situation? So there's no awareness, you don't recognize the problem. So it's as if you are in denial. For some people, they're not in denial, they just don't mind the situation that they are at. So if that's the situation that you are at, hopefully hindi, well, it's really time for you to ask yourself. So again, the first process is assess yourself, what's happening. So that's awareness. Second step really is recognize. So my problem is there's pandemic, and yung opisina ko, let's say I work for a restaurant, hindi na nila kayang i-sustain yung mga empleyado nila. Or as a business owner, I can no longer sustain expenses of running a restaurant. That's the situation that I have to recognize. Be honest to yourself. Because without honesty, without proper assessment, how can you bounce back? Right? I'm hoping and I'm sure you're still with me on that second point. Let's go to our third point. Please be reminded that this is a practical coaching session. That's why I'm giving you the most practical steps. That way, you get to process your situation. Mapunta tayo dun sa you bounce back strong. And I'm focusing really on our mindset as either an employee or an entrepreneur. Okay? Next is, of course, after you do a self-assessment, what's the problem? And then you recognize, this is the problem. So, may pandemya, hindi kaya masustain ng business kasi nga hindi lumalabas yung mga tao. So, the more specific you could become, the better. Why is that? Because when you look at the details of the situation, you could really identify action plans based on it. Kasi kapag sinabi mo lang, there's pandemic, and that's about it, that's the entire problem, let me tell you na maski matapos yung pandemic, hindi pa rin matatapos yung problema mo. Because you're really not looking at the root cause of the problem. Kaya nga, yung kanina, if you're a restaurant owner, yes, there's a pandemic, but the thing is, probably your restaurant kasi is not essential, kaya hindi pa siya nagsusurvive. So yung question, kung paano tayo magsusurvive with the pandemic for a restaurant, sasagutin natin later. But do you get the point? You really need to be specific in terms of identifying your pain points, identifying your current situation. Now, you go through awareness, what's my problem? And then you recognize it, this is my problem. And now it's very important. One of the best part of the process for you to bounce back strong really is for you to accept. What do you need to accept? Well, I have to accept na tong restaurant na to, konting backstory lang. Let's say you're a restaurant owner, di ba? Backstory is, after a lot of concepts, after a lot of businesses, finally you've landed an artisan restaurant. Kasi mahilig ka dun sa magandang presentation na food o kaya you understand what I'm pointing at pagdating sa artisan, right? Ikaw lang yung meron kasi very specialty like yung ating binibenta dun sa restaurants. And you've waited for so long and then all of a sudden because of the pandemic you have to close it down. The question is, with the situation, do you have an acceptance on the situation? Meaning, yes, granted, it's pandemic. Hindi mo pwedeng tanggapin na, there's pandemic, so I have to accept it. Hindi. You have to, go back, ask yourself, what can I learn from the process? Diba? Kasi, ang tanong, kung pare-parehong pandemic yung magiging reason lang natin for having a failure, the next question is, would that mean that all restaurants will not survive? The answer is no. Some restaurants are still thriving right now. Bakit? Right? But before you go dun sa bakit they're still thriving, they're still existing, in fact, they're expanding, may mga ganun, di ba? Bakit kaya? And so, the process of acceptance or what is there to learn from my current situation, that's very important. So probably because you're an artisan and then probably you're inside the mall, obviously kapag nasa mall ka, masyadong limited yung galaw ng mga tao at saka ng mga customers natin, they will not patronize you, di ba? What if may ibang solution? What if lumabas tayo sa mall, di ba? Those are the things that you could really look at. Yung mga up, the next process after acceptance is this. Let's take a look. There you go. Yung bounce back period na. So, nasa gitna tayo ng discussion ko. You know, I specifically requested Bounce Back Network and Jason to make this session, coaching session, a practical one by inviting a few mentees. And na-approve na and very excited. So my presentation is really short, okay, which is very exciting because we get to talk to a few people. Hopefully you could relate to them as well, diba? So now the next step is, because you went through the process of asking yourself, and then you're now aware of what your situation is, then you recognize that this is my situation, this is the problem that I'm facing, and now, you've accepted it. Nakalimutan na natin yung, sige, pandemya, lahat damay-damay. Hindi. Now, you're very specific. That's why you could accept the situation because you're learning from the process. Kumbaga, your mind is clearer now. Clearer because you really have to clear your thoughts and your head, particularly that you'd like to bounce back. You know, in life, we really need to plan ahead. We need to assess our situation at all times. And when you do those two processes, you really have to be detailed. The more detailed it is, the better, because it's easier for you to come up with an action plan. So we could go there later on. So in terms of this step, bounce back, where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? Very important question. Yes, nagsara nga yung resto, pero may mga nagsasurvive eh. Bakit kaya? Diba? So the next question is, anong gusto mong mangyari ngayon? Do you still want to get into a restaurant business? O kaya kapag nawalan ka ng trabaho, obviously dahil tinamaan ng pandemya, yes, mas madaling tanggapin, di ba? Because of the pandemic. But the thing is, bakit yung iba hindi naman nawawala ng trabaho? O kaya nahihirapan akong maghanap ng trabaho, ng kapalit. So you really have to self-assess. You know, you have to be very critical about yourself. Be critical to yourself, not to other people around you. Because the more responsible you become in terms of who you really are, the more knowledge that you gain about yourself, the better it is for you to bounce back. So the question next really is, where do I want to be, knowing that I'm closing my restaurant, knowing that I've already lost my job, right? What's the next step? Eto na. Ayan. Again, the title of today's practical coaching session is How to Bounce Back with a Strong Mindset. Napaka-importante yung unang-unang pagbukas nung nakamute ako, di ba? So yung unang-unang statement ko is, bakit kaya yung iba bumagsak na, namatayan, nawalan, nasunugan, lahat na ng negative thing that could probably happen to the person, they went through it. And then, we still look up to these people. Diba? I'm sure you could think about people. Like, perhaps a good example, not from the Philippines, yung president ng US right now, Joe Biden. I'm sure you've heard about his stories, diba? How many times he lost yung campaign or yung election, diba? He also lost a child. And now, he's holding a good position. Because, of course, he went through awareness, he went through the recognition process, acceptance of failure, and then he wanted to bounce back. Where do I want to go? I still want to pursue it. That's very good. But the best part is, the most important part in this process really is for you to make a decision. Make a decision. I declare na even with all these failures, even if I lost something, even if I lost everything, I will still be out there making and pursuing my dreams. Strong. No? Strong. Kasi in life, you really have to be strong. After all, that's a principle that we all have to learn. And when you decide, another tip is you declare, you announce it to everybody. Yes, I was a failure yesterday. Yes, I've had so many challenges. I succumbed to all these trials. That's all right. Because tomorrow is another day. Because tomorrow is going to be a good day for me to bounce back. I am going to flourish. That's a decision. Diba? Yes, I lost my restaurant, but you know what? Hindi yung restaurant yung importante. Ang importante yung business owner. Because even if you lost your clients, your customers because of pandemic or what have you, kung nandyan yung owner, yung may idea ng concept, that owner, that person who thought of the idea and the concept could still come up with a lot of ideas. But how, right? Well, you decide. Where do you really want to be? Pandemya ka lang, sabi nila. Pilipino ako. Totoo, we're resilient. But the thing is, apart from being resilient, you also need to up your game. You have to up your standards. Wag nating tanggaping, yes, natalo eh. Ano magagawa natin? It's not for me. That's not true. Believe it or not. It's for you. But the thing is, here's a good news. I hope you're taking down notes. The good news is, did you know that every adversity that you face in your life brings with it the same exact amount of blessing. Every adversity, kada paghihirap na pagdadaanan mo, may dala siyang kaakibat na swerte or blessing. Ibig sabihin, when you go through something, and it's as huge as the pandemic, and if you survive this pandemic, that only goes to show, and I am here to tell you, to confirm to you, that if you've survived this pandemic, your future is so bright. It is so bright to the extent that you will be able to help a lot of people in the process. You will be part of a larger community, and that community will benefit from your decision of bouncing back, will benefit from your wisdom. Because the truth is, pandemya lang ito, yung mundo natin, yung boss natin, siya ay sobrang generous at ipinangako niya sa atin na sobrang laki ng abundance. There's so much abundance out there. Why worry if you know that I am here to guide you? But it's not that easy. It's not going to be easy. You all have to go through trials. And the good news is, lahat tayo nagdadaan sa pandemya. Yun naman po yung napakagandang example doon. This is a great equalizer for all of us. Mahirap ka man or mayaman ka, pare-pareho tayo ng pinagdaraanan. Pero, mahirap ka man or mayaman ka, kung wala kang decision, kung hindi ka dumaan sa process ng aware, you have to be aware of your situation, hindi ka dumaan dun sa, I recognize that this is what's happening in my life, and I accept it. Now I'd like to bounce back. After what happened to me, it's time to bounce back, and I have to make a decision. And I declare that I will still put up a restaurant, kung passionate ka doon. I'll still I'll still land a good job. A good employment. Diba? And what's next? Tingnan natin. Pagpasensyahan nyo na, nagiging passionate ako. After all, sabi kasi ni Jason, bounce back with a strong mindset. So dapat may passion din kasi part of your mindset really is a strong passion, right? Your love for something. So what's next after you decide? Let's take a look. Ayan. When you make a decision, very important, pasok na pasok to sa Bounce Back Network. Kaya nga network group of people, diba? Group of individuals who will help you, reach out to you, tell you na this is what you can do moving forward. This is what we are aspiring for. And these are what achievers are doing. You can't get here. Yes, you might say na, ay, that's an online community. Pwede namang sumali dyan. That's true. But the thing is, you could be part of Bounce Back Network, but you might not be able to get yung full benefit of being part of the community because you did not go through the process that I've discussed. Aware, recognize, accept, you bounce back and decide. So parang wala kang malalim na dahilan. Wala kang, sabi nga nila, hugot. Right? Wala kang pinaghuhugutan bakit kailangan makapag-decide ka na mag-bounce back at bakit kailangan mong isurround yung sarili mo sa mga mentors katulad ni Jason De La Rosa. You know what? I am talking to you right now, but I also need to tell you that I, myself, is looking for mentors and I surround myself with mentors. You could ask Jason, kinukulit ko yan kapag may gusto akong malaman because I don't know a lot of things. But what I do know is that yes, there's a pandemic, but I can survive this pandemic. Do you get the point? Yes, there's a pandemic. Yes, a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are closing down their businesses. But in my case, that's a reality. Let's accept it. But hindi tayo papayag na ganun yung mangyari sa atin. We can't be part of the statistics. Oh, sorry. We can't be part of the oh, bakit panihirapan ako doon? Statistic. Oh, you can be part of the statistic. There you go. It's a choice. You need to have a strong mindset. So going back to this point, For you to become stronger after you make that huge decision that I will bounce back and I'll be better, I'll become a better version of myself, 2.0, 3.0, you know, naski 99.0 version ka pa, that's still fine. As long as you have the desire to be better and to get through the situation, then please surround yourself with people who has been there, who went through the situation, or people who's full of wisdom, mentors. Bounce Back Network, marami talaga niyan, di ba? Next is, surround yourself with dreamers. Yung people who talk positively, who talks life. This is the future that I'm looking at. Hindi yung future because of the pandemya. Napakahirap. Yung kinabukasan natin, makikipagsiksikan pa ako dun sa isang kumpanya na magpag-a-applyan ko kasi ang daming nawalan ng trabaho. O kaya, paano ako magsusurvive sa business ko? O kung magtatayo ako ng business, paano ito magsusurvive? Saksakan ng dami ngayon na nag-business. In our case, saksakan po ng dami na nagtayo ng cleaning business this pandemic at saka ng disinfection service this pandemic. Ganun kadami. Pero, I could talk to you confidently that even if there's a lot of us, I wish for all of us to become successful. But one thing is for sure, I will be very successful because I have a good guidance. Because we pray for it. Diba? You're getting the point, right? So please do surround yourself with mentors. Surround yourself with dreamers who talks life and positivity about abundance and wealth, health, and all that. And most importantly, surround yourself with people who already achieved what you want to achieve. Because that should empower you and tell you na, kala ko mahirap hindi pala eh. O kaya, mahirap nga, pero nagawa naman niya. So there really is a difference. Rather than you're on your own, wallowing, thinking about how bad the future could be because of this pandemic. Yung totoo, dear friends, totoo naman po, reality, we really don't know what's ahead of us. But why worry about something that you can't control if you could control yourself? If you go through the process of first, be aware of your situation. Ano bang sitwasyon ko ngayon? Ano ba ang pinagdadaanan ko? Mahirap ba? O kung madali naman, so what's the point of bouncing back, di ba? Pero kung medyo nahihirapan ka, think ahead. Then, after you assess your situation, please recognize what the situation really is. Be honest to yourself. Be sincere. No, you're aware. You're recognizing what the situation that you are in. And then most importantly, you have to accept. Ito pala talaga yung sitwasyon. Yes, pinagdadaanan ng lahat to, pero particularly ako, ito yung pinagdadaanan ko. You're very specific about it. And of course, time to bounce back. Where do I want to go? Knowing that this is my situation. Di ba? Na-accept ko na yan eh. O sige, nawalan na ako ng trabaho eh. Hindi naman ako pwedeng magmukmok kasi may mga pamilya ako, may mga umaasa sa akin, o kaya yung pangarap ko, hindi to talaga pwede ma-delay eh. Di ba? Kasi tumatakbo pa rin naman yung buwan tsaka yung taon habang may pandemya. And then next is, when you decide that you want to bounce back, then you have to make a strong decision. Make an announcement to the whole world. Di ba? You tell your loved ones, you tell everybody, di ba? Maski na sabihin nilang, you're crazy, there's pandemic, tapos ganyan pa rin mga pinag-iisip mo. Don't mind them. That's their personal language. Your language is different because your language is a language of someone who has made a decision and a strong one. That's why you are already in the process of bouncing back. And most importantly, the process really is for you to bounce back stronger. Please, dear friends, let's not just bounce back for the sake of bouncing back. Pagpasensyahan nyo na. Pero that's the type of person I am. Why will I bounce back nang ang level is 10 if I could bounce back 20, 30? Reach for the stars. Para even if you don't reach 30, when you bounce back, you could reach 25 or 20. It's still better than 10. Tama po? So there you are. I hope, and I'm sure you're feeling how passionate I really am because I know a lot of people out there are really thinking or in the process of assessing their situation. And again, I'd like to take to thank Bounce Back Network for this opportunity because in most cases, I have a lot of self-talk eh. So this time, I get to talk to you. Maski wala kayo sa harapan ko, maski camera lang yan, helpful yan. Kaya nga, itong next na gagawin natin, grateful talaga ako kasi we have a live audience. Right? So let's take a look at the next slide, please. Ayan, coaching time. So let's introduce a couple of good friends, diba? From energy. Ang ganda ng concept eh, energy. So ang energy is first we have Miss Nerissa. So teacher Nerissa. And then R we have Teacher Rose. Yan. May feedback lang mga teachers. So if you could turn off yung inyong pinapanood for us to remove that feedback. And then letter G is Teacher G. TG. Hi, Teacher G and Teacher Rose. Hello. Thank you for waiting. Ayan.
Actually, Coach, while we are backstage, yes, iba talaga dito sa Bounce Back, may backstage.
Dilim.
Sa light lang. Actually,
Yes,
very...
Teacher G.
Yeah, ang daming... what you call that, yung mga na-discuss kanina, it's very striking po. Actually, nakagawa nga po ako ng kumbaga dun, acrostic para mas madaling matandaan. But anyway, yes, siguro sa mga nanonood, guys, you could share yung mga experiences nyo. What is your bounce back, major bounce back? Yan, ayun.
Right. Sabi nga, Teacher G ni Faida, shout out louder classmates daw, energy. May hatak pa. Yan. So, again, Teacher G and Teacher Rose, thank you for joining me. What we will do right now is, let's just go through the process para yung mga viewers natin could relate dun sa diniscuss nating process so that we could bounce back strong, particularly with the strong mindset. Ayan, okay? So, who wants to talk first? Tell us. So my first question is, let's take a look at yung awareness part. What's your current situation? Sige nga, Teacher G or Teacher Rose? Sige. Ayan. So anybody, Teacher G.
Ayan,
so what's your current situation?
Actually, my current situation, I am a teacher. Ayan, nagtuturo po. And then now, currently, may group po kami ng energy. Yan, giving, value, inspiring. Yan.
Very good. Teacher G. Mga friends who's watching right now, it's also telling you that when you do your self-assessment, hindi naman kailangan sobrang malaki yung problema mo. So minsan, mayroon talagang tinutulak yung puso natin eh. Yun yung tinatawag nating, ano ba yung mission mo, di ba? So I guess, para kay Teacher G and Teacher Rose, unahan ko na sila kasi na-mention nila about the energy group. So ang current situation is they have an organization or this is a Facebook community, di ba, Teacher G?
Yes.
Yes, and then ang mission ng energy is, Teacher Rose, tell us please what the mission is of energy.
Yes, ang energy kasi nabuo siya to motivate and inspire people through God's word and gano'n.
Yan. So, teka nga, tanungin natin yung awareness part. Bakit kailangan natin all of a sudden mag-isip ng, let's inspire, diba? Let's motivate other people. So, anong pinakahugot natin dyan? Anong pinanggalingan yan?
Nauna kasi si Teacher Nerissa talaga, yun totoo. Si Teacher Nerissa, yung nag-approach sa akin and kay Teacher Jan din ata, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So, si Teacher Nerissa talaga yung nag-approach sa amin, then in-invite niya kung pwede kaming mag-join sa kanya to do live.
Right.
Tapos, hanggang sa nung nag-meeting na kami, nabuo na namin yung energy. Then, doon siya nagsimula, January 3, I think, or January 6.
This month or last month, tama?
Yes.
Ayan, very fresh, diba? Tama. So, apart from the fact na meron tayong energy, Ang question ko naman individually naman para makarelate yung mga audience natin, no? Teacher Rose, how are you personally in terms of the situation dito sa buong mundo?
Personally, medyo hindi madali kasi I'm a single mother of 3 kids. So,
Three
hindi,
kids.
yes, hindi ganun kadali kasi last October, last year, I quit my job. So, hindi talaga, lalong hindi madali kasi nawalan ako ng income. So,
That's
as a
right.
single mother, dun talaga ako nagkaroon ng struggle kasi kailangan kong isipin everyday paano ako magpo-provide para sa mga anak ko.
Tama. So, Teacher Rose, perfect yan. And I'm sure a lot of our audiences could relate to that na may mga single parents or even parents themselves are really in a situation where naputol yung source of income, yung main source of income, di ba? So,
Yes.
sa'yo ba, masasabi mo ba na yung process natin of bouncing back, yung awareness, is that important to you as well?
Yes, awareness at actually yung mga nasabi nyo kanina, talagang sabi ko, yes, tama. Kasi lahat yun pinagdaanan ko naman before ako nag-decide to do freelancing and before ako nag-open ng small business. And bukod pala doon sa business ko ng sandwiches, I also designed ng mga shirts, scripture inspired shirt. Nagdi-design ako noon.
Ayun. So, perfect yan, Teacher Rose. What Teacher Rose is telling us is that she went through the process of what's really happening in my life, tapos nagkaroon ng recognition na ito pala yun, yung pinagdaraanan ko. There's acceptance para kumilos siya. Yun yung
Yes.
pagkita niya ng creating or selling sandwiches and working as a freelance in creating these inspirational images or graphics on t-shirt. Tama ba?
Yes.
That's right. So, punta tayo kay Teacher G. So, Teacher G, ano naman ang mga masasabi nating personal na sitwasyon mo? Bakit you also thought of joining Energy?
And it's a great opportunity din po kasi Coach Jason, Sir Jason, Sir Jordan, yan, Sir Jordan, na kasi I wanted to do, to explore, lalo na yung passion ko. Ayan, yung I want to share something. Yan. Ito, and then that is the perfect time nung parang tinap yung shoulders namin ni Teacher Nerissa. Ayan, Teacher Nerissa, Teacher Rose, and I. Ayan po, kaya na-create yung energy. And the thing is, nakapag-reflect din po ako no Coach Jordan na we don't have that energy always, right? Kung minsan talaga ba darating ka sa point na talaga you are at your lowest point. Yan, of course, sa mga viewers natin dyan, if you are an owner, yan, you have a business, small, whether small or big, nag-undergo tayo dyan. But the thing is, we do not just do it for ourselves, but there are people depending on us, depending on the service that we provide. So yun. So I think that is the energy that we would like to have for us to go forward, to move forward. Parang yun yung mag-serve as our fuel.
Right. Alam mo, Teacher G, ang ganda nung punto na yan eh. Kasi again, yung examples natin kanina during my discussion is that parang may mabigat tayong pinagdaraanan, particularly because of the pandemic. But particularly for Teacher G naman, I'm sure there's a process para masabi mong gusto ko yung makapag-inspire, makapagbigay ng positive energy out there. But it's really a matter of timing. Diba? It's God's time naman kasi talaga. And God's time came to her dahil kay Teacher Nerissa na ito yung pwede mong purpose na gawin sa ngayon. Kasi nakikita niya, and it's just me processing, you could confirm or deny, Teacher G, na you yourself, I'm sure you've experienced where nandun ka sa lowest point of your life and naglulong ka dun sa inspiration, di ba? Or kaya, where can I draw my strength from? Tama ba yan, Teacher G?
Ayan, yes, sir.
Ayan.
Exactly. Tsaka, yun rin po, one of my learning po, sige po, sir.
Go ahead with your learning. Go ahead with your
Okay. So, 2018, 2019, nandiyan na talaga, parang nandun na tayo sa peak na lahat nagpa-progress. But then 2020 came. And then parang for me, parang biglang huminto. Na biglang huminto yung mundo, saan tayo pupunta. But the thing is, doon sa parang chaotic world na parang palaging we are on the go, na I learned na dapat we take things gradually. Andun. Dun sa time na yun, and what are the things that we can do? So, yun po. So, ano nga ba? Ito lang, Sir Jordan, may naglaro lang sa isip ko na while you are discussing your presentation a while ago po, siguro some of the viewers may ask, when is the right time to bounce back? Ayan. When is the right
What's
time
your
natin
thoughts
to
about
bounce
it, Teacher G?
So when is the right time to bounce back? It's not a matter of parang pabilisan ng pagtayo eh. No? Para kayo ng bata, yung bibasit, yung mahuli taya. Siguro it's not that. And ang time natin is iba-iba. That's a cliche, but that's true. And nakakatuwa nga rin po, Coach Jordan, yung awareness, recognition, acceptance, and then bouncing back. And nakagawa ko ng parang Aura B, ayan, para mas madaling tandaan, Aura B, it's awareness, recognition, acceptance, and bounce back. So, hindi naman yan talagang mabilisan. It's a process. It's a long process. And it takes patience para for you to stood up and then continue kung ano yung ginagawa. Yun.
Totally agree, Teacher G. In fact, yung RB, di ba? O yan, may RB na acronym na tayo. Yung RB really, it depends on the situation that you are at. So for some people, it would take some time for us to decide na it's really time for me to bounce back. On the other hand, babalikan natin si Teacher Rose. Si Teacher Rose kasi, yung kanyang transition to bounce back, hindi pwedeng sobrang tagal. Tama ba, Teacher Rose?
Yes. Kasi, syempre, yun. And
Tama,
may mga
kasi yun.
and may
Exactly, so magreklamo sila.
Yes, hindi naman nagrereklamo, pero yung bills ko magrereklamo na.
Ayun, kakalampagin ka ng mga bills, di ba? So, Teacher G, ano naman ang pinaka deciding point mo para masabi mo na, sige, I'd really have to think of a good sandwich recipe and I need to do freelancing job para magsimula na ako mag-bounce back. So, kailan mo naramdaman yan at bakit?
Yung reason kung bakit is, syempre, kailangan ko talaga mag-provide. Kailangan ko humanap ng mga paraan, ng mga ways kung paano ako makakapag-provide sa kids ko and sa mga bills ko. Syempre, napakarami niyan. And ang ginawa ko lang, dito kasi sa community namin, sa subdivision namin, meron kaming group. So, ginawa ko, kung ano yung wala, hinanap ko kung ano yung wala sa kanila. Saka ako nag-decide to make a product na wala dito para masell ko siya na may kakaiba na sandwich dito sa community namin. And then, I do freelancing kasi I love designing eh. So, sabi ko, why not do it as freelance naman? Kesa nung nandun ako sa isang kumpanya na hindi naman ako masaya kasi for some reason. Sabi ko na.
Tanongin ko nga eh. Pero, Teacher Rose, sige. Maganda yung sinasabi mo ha. So una, pagdating doon sa sandwich, that's very good point. Kasi maraming mga sandwich stores out there, di ba? Yes. Pero, yun nga yung sinasabi natin kanina na bakit yung ibang sandwich stores nagta-thrive, bakit yung iba nagko-close, di ba? So sa'yo, ang keyword that you use is you look for something that's not there. Ibig sabihin, may kakaiba. So ano nga bang kakaiba sa sandwich ni Teacher Rose?
Piniprepare with love, charot.
Mukhang mamahalin yan eh.
Actually, may sample ako dito eh.
Ayan. Sige nga, briefly talk to us about it.
Oo. Hindi naman siya totally kakaiba. Favorite food ko kasi to nung high school. And namimiss ko talaga yung lasa niya. Wala akong nakikitang gumagawa talaga nito. So gusto ko siyang ibalik kasi napakasarap talaga niya para sa akin.
Intriguing yan, Teacher Rose. Ano ba meron sa sandwich na yan?
Iba-ibang ano siya, iba-iba yung ano namin,
Flavor.
palaman.
Right. Oo. Pero again, keyword natin doon ay wala kasi doon sa village nyo or sa community nyo na nag-offer ng ganyan. So, ibig
Yes.
sabihin, mas malaki yung chance mo of surviving or thriving because no one is offering that in your community. At alam mo kung ano yung community mo. Di ba?
Mhm. Yes.
Oo. Teacher Rose, mabilisan lang. Importante rin kasi para maintindihan ng mga viewers natin, audience natin. Siyempre, there's pandemic. Tapos, here comes October 2020. Umalis pa si Teacher Rose sa company niya. So,
Lakas ng loob.
ayun nga. Pero ano yung pinaka-hugot mo doon? Bakit kailangan mong mag-desisyon ng gano'n? Kasi to be frank, you're one of the brave souls out there na gagawin yung bagay na yun, but I'm sure there's a deeper reason behind it and malakihan at malakasang decision-making ang ginawa mo doon, for sure.
Yes, hindi madali yung decision na yun. Sabi ko nga, yun yung best decision I've ever made. Hindi siya pinagsisihan. Kahit na alam kong maraming mawawala sa akin. And mawawala yung trabaho ko, yung income ko. Pero that was the best decision I've ever made. And totoong hindi siya madali. Lalo na kung may anak, di ba? 3 pa yun. Pero, yun nga, meron, siguro lakas ng loob talaga ang nagtulak sa akin. Kasi kung hindi ako gagawa or magde-decide to take action, hindi ako makakaalis sa pwesto ko ng depression. Kasi I was depressed at that time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sige. I will not ask for a lot of details, pero good thing that you mentioned yung sa depression aspect. Maraming factors kasi for us to reach to that depression stage. Pero dahil nagkaroon ka ng awareness, recognition, and acceptance of your situation, nakapag-decision ka, mas kinapakahirap, di ba? And ang pinakamaganda dun sa ginawa ni Teacher Rose is that although it's difficult, she made a strong decision na whatever happens, kakayanin ko to. So ang tanong, Teacher Rose, may pagsisisi nga ba pagkatapos ng October at kamusta ang pagbabounce back mo after that?
Walang pagsisisi. Mukha ba? Halata ba? Hindi naman, no? Hindi, joke lang. Hindi talaga pagsisisi. Kasi sabi ko nga, best decision, di ba? So, wala akong dapat pagsisihan doon. Kasi ginawa ko rin naman yun, not just for myself, but for my kids also. So, kaya ako siya ginawa. Kaya wala akong pagsisisihan doon. And, yun. Mas nagiging okay na ako ngayon. Kasi, yes, yung pagbabounce back ko, mas nagiging better ako ngayon. Getting better. Kasi I'm with the community of Louder. Sila yung malakas talagang mag-push sa'yo, positive people. And andyan si Sir Jason na palagi kong tinatanong.
Very good. So, totoo, tama yan, Rose. Again, sana hindi nanonood yung dati mong employer, no? Kasi naramdaman niya na, best decision. But the thing is, because of the realization and acceptance that you went through, mas magiging madali talaga yung proseso mo para makapag-move on tsaka makapag-bounce back. And very key element of bouncing back, really, is what you just mentioned. You're part of a community, di ba?
Yes.
So yung Louder as a community is helping you out. And how do we know if someone is progressing with the decision that they made for them to bounce back? Diba? Paano natin malalaman yon? Meron nga talagang tinatawag na energy. Diba?
Yes! So, nandito rin naman kami. Kaya rin siguro positive yung mga lumalabas palagi ngayon sa isip namin and sa bibig namin is because we have each other. Si Teacher Jem, si Teacher Nerissa, isa rin sila sa talagang tumutulong sa akin to keep on going.
That's right. So, Teacher G, ano naman yung pinakamagandang na itutulong ng network nyo from Louder and some other group of friends who are your mentors, who are dreamers and achievers?
Ayun. So, having that community po, hindi ka lang binabox eh. It's you exploring the world out there na hindi lang ang alam mong world ay chaotic, maingay. But the thing is, yung mas pinapayabong pa yung community na community of builders. Just like this, kung nasaan kami ngayon, we are thankful na nandito kami sa Bounce Back Network, na talaga ang mga tao dito ay tulungan pataas. Yan. And then also yung mga coaches namin, mentors namin, we are very thankful yan, Sir Jason po. Of course, you, Sir Jordan. And the Louder Fam, the Josh, and the voice box. So, yun po. Ayan, of
Yan,
course, the energy.
Thank you. Well, again nga yung point out ni Teacher G and ni Teacher Rose, very key to our success, key to our moving on or bouncing back. And that is for us to surround ourselves with people who are helpful, 'di ba? Yung sabi nga ni Teacher G, yung talagang hinahatak ka pataas, hindi ka hinihila pababa. Do you get that? So it's that really important. So siguro, kasi because we have less than 3 minutes to talk, ang question ko na lang mabilisan kay Teacher Rose and Teacher G is, how do you see 2021 for yourselves? So Teacher Rose.
This 2021, I think I declare I will come out stronger. Charang. Ganon. Kasi, di ba, goal ko talaga is to live peacefully, happily, and satisfied. Ganon.
Ayan. So, stronger. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Teacher G. Teacher Rose, thank you.
Yes. So this is the year for me po, no? It's the year of execution. If you are wondering, you viewers po, hello, na when is the right time? The right time is now. Huwag ka magpapabukas na magbukas, and it will prolong. And then yung sayang yung mga opportunities, and don't box yourself. Be out there, expose yourself, accept criticism, but take kung ano lang yung makakatulong sa'yo. Okay, so get a community, get a family that will help you. So yun, I think
Very
that's
good. Thank you, Teacher G. Support. Network. Yan yung mga kailangan natin in order for us to succeed this 2021. Because everything is really possible. All the possibilities are out there. It's really up to you kung paano natin iti-take itong 2021. Is it going to be another worst year like 2020, or it's going to be the best year ever? In fact, if you've been through the worst, that's 2020, you have to be really excited this 2021. So allow me to close this practical coaching session with a short story about my company. So again, I am from Clean Zone PH, and the company has been there for more than 4 years. And I'd mentioned this earlier there. And I am just happy to share this with you. Pwede nga kasing maging confidential tong information na to, pero I'm happy to tell you that what we are going through as a company is really difficult. It's tough. Bakit? Kasi ang dami na po talagang nagtayo ng cleaning services, disinfection services. Left, right, up, down, middle. They're everywhere. We are everywhere. Is that a problem? It could be a problem. Is that something that we have to go against, or do we accept and take the learning out of the situation? Well, fact of the matter is, we could only wish our competitors really well. We hope for everybody to survive 2021 and to really progress and be well off so that more opportunities, better service and quality will be out there. So that's our wish for our competitors. But still, there's a problem. Problem is there's so many of us out there. So what can we do to bounce back? Our purpose as early as January really is to provide the best quality. Everyone's saying best quality. Na professional, we do this, we have this and that. You know, in our organization, what we did is we're utilizing Kaizen. Anong ibig sabihin ng Kaizen? Kaizen is a Japanese word meaning change good, or good change, or continuous improvement. If you're familiar with Lean, o kaya tinatawag nilang Lean Six Sigma, yung mga ganyan, that's a concept for you to become better with what you do. How? That's through small, good changes. And because there's awareness on our part as an organization, and we recognize na ang dami talaga namin, and we accept na because ang dami namin, what is there to learn from the situation? We can't be bitter because that's an option that we could take, but that's never an option that my company will take. We will never be bitter about the competitors. Rather, what we're doing is Kaizen, a small, good improvement on a daily basis. That way, we become better. That's the goal for us to bounce back. And we are you just heard that, it's a declaration. So it's a commitment that I am telling you that my company is going through that improvement phase. Whatever happens, you support us or not, it will happen. And the best thing that we can do really is for every member of the organization to be supported. Nagsisimula sa akin bilang kanilang CEO, to our CFOs, to all members of the organization. Lahat po kami magtutulungan. We surround ourselves. Being the owner, being the CEO of Clean Zone PH, I still surround myself with mentors. I have group of mentors in Go Negosyo. Jason De La Rosa, our Bounce Back Network friends, network coaches, diba, businessmen, mga employees. That's a good network to surround the organization with. And because of that, it is never impossible for our organization to achieve a lot. So much better than 2021 and the other previous years. I am that confident because again, God's promise really is for us to be abundant, and it's just out there waiting for us to claim. And we are already in the process of claiming. With that, I wish everybody a good learning session. I hope you've learned a lot from today's session, and I hope that you don't look at our bad situation as a point where you wanted to just shut off and forget about how bad your situation is. Let's not do that. I'd like to thank Sir Nato. Thanks for joining us. Of course, Jason De La Rosa and Bounce Back Network. Again, this is Jordan Patente of Clean Zone PH, praying and declaring that this 2021 is going to be the best year for all of us. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Yay!
All right. So thank you very much, Jordan, on behalf of Bounce Back PH and Bounce Back 2021, Time to Shine. We'd like to thank everyone for participating. Thank you very much, Jordan. So watch out for more practical coaching sessions on this channel. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Teacher Rose, Teacher G, Teacher G.
Okay.
All the best. All the best, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty.